Don Reynolds, Grand Master of Freemasons Victoria. A very historic time at this temple.
Yes, Ron, it's a little bit bittersweet, I guess, a little bit sad, but yet we're thinking about the future. So, of course, we're in the Sandringham Masonic Centre, a grand old lady of buildings in our arsenal in Freemasons Victoria, and certainly a beautiful centre. Unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye, and of course the quarterly communication on the 13th of December will be the time where we will be saying our goodbyes and moving forward. We have a strategic plan in relation to our buildings and our accommodation, and most of the lodges that meet here will move to our Bayside Masonic Centre, which is more modern and more contemporary.
Don, in its heyday, this would have been basically a treasure in this area of Sandringham, and it's good to know that the council actually have shown an interest.
Well, certainly this was, as I said, of historic value. I mean, when it was built back in 1931, there was a whole lot of influences that came with it. The Egyptian influence, the influence from those returning from World War I, and it's actually been said that, and it's not so much of a great stretch, that the Egyptian influence does date back to the finding of Tutankhamun's tomb in the early 1920s. But it's probably fair to say that it goes back even further than that, to the 1300s and the time of Euclid in Egypt, where there are writings in relation to Freemasonry. The fact that it's potentially going to be purchased and used as a community centre, I think is fantastic, because as you well know, we are involved very heavily in the community, and this would be a great and fitting future for the Sandringham Masonic Centre.
And of course the foundation stone was laid by Lord Somers, another very famous Freemason.
Yes, and Lord Somers was a Grand Master of Freemasonry back in 1931 when the foundation stone was laid. I haven't actually scouted the building to find out where the foundation stone is at this particular stage, but and that is normal for our organisation, that the Grand Master of the day would dedicate the building, and that's dedicated to Freemasonry. And I think it's really important to sort of note that back in those days, or at its height, there were probably 14 craft lodges that met here, and our mark orders and chapter orders, and many of the other orders that operate in Victoria as well.
And on Garden Vale, just around the corner, how far away is it from this particular temple?
Oh, gee, a hop, step and a jump is what they'd probably say, Ron, but it's a matter of real minutes away, and I was lucky enough to host a cocktail party there, which was really a pre-opening, if you like. The main opening of the Bayside Masonic Centre will take place next March, on the 17th of March, where we will have a quarterly communication and then a dedication of the 3 rooms. So I was privy to an almost final look at the new Masonic Centre, and it certainly gave some wow factor.
And that also has community involvement as well with the daycare centre?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the way in which our buildings are being built today, or refurbished today, is to ensure that we have commerciality, but also to ensure that we're part of the community. I think for too long that we've been apart from the community, and so we're trying to rectify that. And there's a daycare centre and some other commercial ventures that would be in that centre as well.
Well, Don, the final word on this wonderful temple here, which is obviously being retired at the quarterly. What would you say if you had a few words to describe the feeling within this temple?
Look, I'm sure that there will be a lot of sad people, I guess, when Sandringham Masonic Centre finally goes. But I think we need to be realistic about our future, and we need to understand that as buildings grow and grow with our organisation, so too must we look at the future and fit the organisation for buildings that are contemporary, that are modern, that suit today's living. And even though I think there will be some sad, and I must admit the inside of this is absolutely beautiful. It's time, and it's time that we moved on to the future. Change is not always easy, but we do need to change and move forward.
Once again, Don Reynolds, Grand Master, Freemasons Victoria, thank you very much for your words of wisdom.
Thank you, Ron.